What's up, guys? Welcome to VHP Engines. Alright, so this video's main topic is going to be Vtec versus non-Vtec. But just a warning, it's not going to be super technical. I am not here today to talk about how Vtec functions and all that bullshit. Just a simple yes or no for which is the case, which is Vtec versus non-Vtec. As a matter of fact, there's a good chunk of this video is probably going to be more me about talking about some other things real quick that are important, that I know that you guys aren't going to watch if I put in a news update. So, but anyway, to get to it, Vtec versus non-Vtec. I believe this was a pretty straightforward, simple, but I've gotten this question from a lot of people. And the people who recently brought this to my attention or asked me a couple times has been one of you guys going under by the name of Honda Civic. I don't know if you spoke to me on Facebook yet. You probably have. But if you haven't, Honda Civic's what I see you by. I see you posting quite a bit, commenting. Appreciate that. So you and the other being Brian Perez. Vtec is a performance head, and it's quite known already. I mean, just look at the MiniMe swap and all the other Frankenstein swaps, where you take the non-Vtec engine, you take that shitty ass head off and toss it out the fucking window, and you put a Vtec head on there. So is a Vtec head better to go with? Absolutely. It's like, for a non-Vtec engine, it's almost a necessity for a bolt-on. Now, as I've said before, I like to use all engine parts, and I don't think that any of them are necessarily bad inherently. I mean, we could find uses for all of them. But if you're looking for an easy upgrade, cheap power, that's definitely the head. I can't tell you specific, horsepower numbers between like B-series engines and shit, but I know that from a lot of single cams I've seen setups, you're looking at like fucking with tuning now. I'm not just saying slap it on and you get this much power, although it's probably close to it too. But I've seen 30 horsepower, 35 horsepower squeezed out of a single cam just from putting a fucking a Vtec head on it. So yeah, absolutely use a Vtec head. Do you have to use a Vtec head to make power? No. But that's a lot of power. 30 horsepower is a nice fucking bump in power from just putting the Vtec head on it. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm always do that. Well, not probably not. I shouldn't say always, because I really do, and I've talked about this years ago, way before YouTube was a thing for me, before engines was a thing for me, that I wanted to do a non-Vtec build. I guess here's a little extra pro and con for that. The reason why I'm interested in a non-Vtec boosted engine would be that you don't have to wait for Vtec to kick in to make your power band. You get into it right away. You don't have to wait for Vtec, and that's cool to me. But yeah, the Vtec head does throw in a lot more power, and it's like a miniature turbo type deal where they designed it to run on certain lobes at a lower RPM and not engage all the shit at a low RPM, so that way you make a good economy, you get good fuel mileage. And then if you're going into the high RPMs, where obviously you're trying to get down, then at the high RPMs, those extra lobes engage and you get more intake. So yeah, that's really cool shit. I've seen a lot of back and forth on the internet where people arguing that fucking you don't have to use a Vtec head, you can make just as much power. But all those people saying that make just as much power, you can't straight up take a B18 head versus a B16 GSR or whatever Vtec head and fucking say that they're gonna make identical power. They don't. They're designed completely different. All right. But can you modify a B18 head or a non-Vtec head to make as much power and flow and all that shit as a Vtec head? Yeah, but you're looking at stock versus stock, cost versus cost. It's going to cost way more to modify your non-Vtec head to perform like a stock Vtec head would. So if your argument is, I buy a non-Vtec head for 25 bucks, 50 bucks, and then I have to do cam and valve train, port and polish, and then I can make power off of it. Well, at cams alone, you're already more than a Vtec head is going to cost you. This is going to be a topic soon too, but generally speaking, I pick up a dog Vtec head for 200 bucks. Cams cost more than 200 bucks, and you're not going to properly run aggressive cams without getting your valve train modification with it. And that's, you know, you're already looking at twice the price of a Vtec head just from doing that. And if you really want to maximize your flow, you know what I mean, your power there, you're also going to do your port and polish, and it's just a lot of money. So yeah, easy modification to do, Vtec fucking head. Yeah, do that. Yeah, but don't feel like you have to. Now, as regards to your single cam boost guys out there who are thinking about doing the Vitara build, absolutely do the Vtec head on that. Maybe with a B series, or not maybe, but with a B series, yeah, do B20 stock or a head or LS stock head, and you can still make all kinds of power. But you know, that Vtec, the little single cam Vtec engine, you know, definitely get that Vtec head, especially if you're being patient and you're really looking, you can get one for $50. So $50, and you can't beat that. There's very few bolt-on modifications you're gonna do. They're gonna jump you in horsepower gains higher than just the slapping on another head. All right, so now we're gonna get into the discussion part that I promised you was coming. I'm looking at my list of video topics to do, and I am starting to run out. I have not added any new discussion things very recently. I've got maybe like another 6 that I got planned. So unless you guys hit me with something that I haven't already thought of, it looks like the schedule that I've kept pretty much this whole month is gonna fucking break. I'm sorry about that. I'm not super stoked about it, but video production is probably going to drop a little bit, guys, just because I'm not going to have that much shit to talk about, and unless I can get another engine up in here. Now, what my plan is to do is to shift from doing the daily uploads to once the last thing I'm waiting for my Integra to come in is my knuckles, or not the knuckles, but the hubs. The hubs I ordered. And once I get the hubs in, I will reassemble the front end of that car. I will have it rolling. I can roll it into the shed or into my little shop out there. And once I do that, then I can start, you know, making uploads based on that. And I have a lot of shit planned for that car, and that can hopefully fill into space until I can come up with some more ideas. But just be prepared to, you know, that video output will probably drop down from 5 days a week to maybe 2 or 3. And then I'll probably be doing the most of that on the weekends. For you guys that have watched the story, my automotive story, you know my job situation, how it's working out. And I'm going to be switching to night shift. Night shift being 2 p.m. to fucking 10. I know it's second shift for you guys that work jobs that have 3 shifts, but we don't. We only got the 2, so that's the night shift for us. And I prefer night shift like I was doing in Miami, 3 to 11, but you know, whatever, I don't pick the times. So that may, or that's probably gonna, you know, affect my time that I upload. I haven't decided if it's gonna be like super late in the or super late in the morning hours, like 3 a.m. or some shit like that, or if it's just gonna be that I upload the day before. I haven't worked that out yet. Also, here's another thing, guys, for learning. Now, I know that there's probably some of you guys on here that are here watching just because you like automotive stuff and you're just here to watch some videos to help pass the time. That's cool. That's fine. But for you guys on here that, you know, are leaning a lot more towards the learning aspects, just know this. There's just one thing, right? You can't rely on me alone to be your only source. I want to be able to help you guys out. But if you always think in the back of your head that you got Chris that you can run to and ask questions, that's gonna fuck you up. You're putting a cap on your limit. You're putting a limitation on yourself before you ever even really get started. If you want to build engines, I'm showing you guys that this shit is relatively simple. I mean, if you got a decent head on you, this is not super complicated stuff. Yes, you have to respect it and be careful because a mistake can fucking cost you an engine. But at the same time, as long as you got some good common sense and you pay attention to detail, this is a relatively easy job. It's just very time consuming and delicate shit. But if you're in the back of your head, you're knowing I'll just go to Chris anytime I have an answer or a question I need the answer. That's a bad way of doing things because you're crippling yourself in your ability to absorb and acquire more knowledge. I am like a companion guide. You need to be going out there and finding answers on your own. You need to go out there and Google things. You need to go out there and pull from other sources, from other sites. Pull in as much knowledge as you can. Sit back, absorb as much as you can, think on it. Then come to me and ask your questions, and I can help guide you in a way that, to one of my videos where I can, if I haven't talked about it, give you some insight. When I buy something new, like a new piece of furniture that needs assembled or whatnot, I get everything out of the box. I look at everything, familiarize myself with all the information or everything I see before I even think about looking at the instructions. All right, I'm like the instruction manual. You need to go out there and find all this other information first, and look at that, and then come to me, because you guys some of you guys, it's not even some of you anymore. A lot more and more of you are using me as the be all go all, and a lot of you times you guys are asking me the same questions. Now, if you're asking me the same questions over and over again, that means you're not holding any information, and it's just because you're not holding it. And I really think you're not holding the information in your heads because you know you don't need to, and that's not the way to go. Myself, I'm nowhere near an expert. Do I know what I'm doing here? Yes, the fuck I do. But at the same time, I never stop digging. I never stop researching. And I don't even like torque specs and shit like that. I don't even keep them in my head. Even some of the ones that I'm pretty comfortable with remembering, I still always double check before I hit that fucking torque wrench. You need to do that, guys. You really, really, really need to do that, because you guys, nobody has hit me with any curveball questions yet. And a lot of you guys ask me questions, or a lot of the same guys, asking questions over and over again, are asking really basic stuff. And I know the really basic stuff I've covered. So now that I'm telling you to go out there and dig into the information you can find on the internet, now when you come back to here to VHB engines, use that shit too as something. You don't have to watch one of my videos just one fucking time and that's it. I rewatch my videos a lot. I rewatch my own shit a lot to make sure that I'm on point, and to make sure that I've covered some stuff, and to make sure I don't need to add anything to it. I research my own shit when I do. So if you get yourself some questions on here, you go look through my playlist and find the shit that's relevant to what you're saying, and watch it again and again and again until you can learn that shit. Because that's really all you can do to learn. I can't be here to walk you through every single step. I'm not here for that. I can't. And it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to start ignoring some of you guys, because most of the time when you catch me with your questions, I'm out on the move. It's not just me sitting around at home, although I do a fair amount of that. But usually you guys catch me when I'm out. And it's hard for me to stop whatever I'm doing to repeat answer. And I don't want to get to the point where you guys think I'm ignoring you, that my head's getting big. It's not that. My head's not getting big from, like I'm starting to grow, I don't need you guys. It's not that. It never will be. It's starting to be when my head's getting big, swole up with, holy shit, I'm answering the same questions over and over again to the same fucking 30 people. And I don't want it to be that way. I want to keep a good relationship flowing back and forth between us. That way we can have a good, steady flow of information. I don't want to hold anything back for you guys. And I don't want to frustrate myself to the point where I can't talk to y'all anymore. So, yes, just please do that, the research thing. And that includes researching my own videos again. I'm not saying that to try and get more views out of it. I'm saying that because, I'm here to help. But I'm here to help with that shit. And instead of me personally being on repeat, you can click those videos over and over again. And that video will never give you a nasty response because, it's always the first time for me in that video every time you watch me. Okay, so real quick to touch on fucking the giveaway here. A lot of you guys are responding, and that's really cool. I appreciate to know that there's enough of you guys out there, even if you're not wanting to buy, that you're still interested enough to rock the fucking hardware. That's great. So what I've decided to do is I was gonna give away 5 and keep 5. I've decided to break my word here a little bit, and I'm going to give more out than I originally said. These are the ones these 5 are guaranteed 100%. I'm going to put in Brian Perez, you get a shirt. Buck Wall, you're getting a shirt. Jorge Ariza, you're getting a shirt. Ronnie Cason, I think it's your name, Cason, right? Oh shit, my bad. Well, anyway, if you're fucking watching. And Jose Escobedo, you're all getting shirts. I mean, most of you guys have already inboxed you, so you pretty much have an idea already. If you haven't already sent an address for me, I got an address for Buckwall and Jose. I'm missing addresses for Ronnie, Jorge, and Brian. So send those to me so that way I can get ready. And I'm going to give you all shirt sizes to the shirt guy tomorrow and see how long it's going to take him. Carlos Avila, like I said to you earlier, you're on my short list. I had 2 lists that was going off. And Josh Elkins, you're one of those guys too. And Rohan, I'm not sure if you're watching, but it seemed like you were watching earlier. That's pretty cool that you stuck around the channel and stayed active. You're going to get your shirt also. So I'm just going to make a bigger batch. I'm going to have 2 shirts left over. I'm probably going to make one for my wife and then one for me. So that way I can have one of the new ones. Because I overestimated my fatness last time I had a batch made, and I made a bunch of 4Xs and they hang off me retarded. You know, I had fucking, instead of my titty logo here, it's like it hangs off into the side by my armpit when I'm wearing it because it's too fucking big. Alright, and speaking of Rohan, he told me today that the guy he sold the single cam to is getting ready to tune or somewhere in the near future. So we are finally going to get some fucking footage of the Vitara MiniMe. Now, it's probably going to be just dyno footage, but still, you know, being that that was the video that launched this channel, it is going to be very nice to see those numbers come back in, and numbers that you guys can actually see and not have to just take my word for it. So there's that. And I think that's it. Holy fuck, you know, I talked for 6 minutes on the topic and we're got 16 minutes on the video. My bad, guys. But it's true, man. You fucking guys don't watch none of the news updates. It's like maybe 80 of you do. So this is the only way I can fucking squeeze new information to you guys. Okay, so in closing here. Oh shit. Hold on a second. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, click on VHB Engines on the page below, so that way you can go to the main page. I have all the videos there organized into playlists to better help you guys find the videos you need to answer your questions. All right. You'll also find in the description below all the links to my social media. I use Facebook for channel news and updates, you know, for throughout the week. I use Instagram for all my project pictures and stuff. If I'm doing something during the week or I'm doing something at night, I'm taking pictures, and you will generally get an idea of what's coming that night for the build nights on Instagram, because I'll upload all those pictures before I actually upload the video for the night. Twitter and Snapchat I'm going to use to put the little videos on here. Like, I forget shit from time to time in the videos, so Snapchat and Twitter is going to cover those. So I'm going to make a little 1 or 2 minute video follow-ups there. Everybody who adds me on Snapchat will get an ad back, so that way it gives me a chance to peek in on you guys and what you guys may be building. Good way to stay in touch. Plus, you know, if I see you guys are stuck or something or whatever, and you put it out there, and I see it, I'll see about dropping my 2 cents on there. Maybe I can help you with something. Also, guys, feel free to, despite the rain I just did, you know, feel free to send me a message. You know, just know that if it is something on this video, if it's a topic on something I've already talked about on this channel, I will redirect you to another one of my videos. Alright guys, that's it, you know, and thanks for watching. Peace.